Good morning, YouTube. So I opened the internet this morning and I saw, and I guess it was recommended to me. I think it was a New York Times article, and it said 4 security guard tips from old timers. And I thought I would share it with you guys. Some of them seem more pertinent than others, but again, nonetheless, I thought I would mention it to you. So these were tips that were taken from old timers. And when I say old timers, people that have been in the industry for 30 plus years. Number one, it says staying awake. You know, again, that's always been a struggle for guards is staying awake. Obviously, you know, if you're doing a graveyard shift to stay awake, you would make sure you have a good sleep schedule, that you're eating right, a good exercise routine. All those things will help you stay awake, but they're no guarantee. You know, when you get your schedule messed with enough, you will find yourself exhausted, and no matter of sleeping or exercise or eating right will keep you awake. So some of the old timers, according to this article, what they would do is they would take a pinch of coffee grinds, and don't use instant coffee because that would be horrible, but you take coffee grinds, and they say that you would put it in between your lips, just like people that chew tobacco, and evidently that will get the caffeine into your blood within 5 to 10 minutes quicker than drinking actual coffee, and it's more effective. You don't have to worry about having all that liquid in your system, so you're not running to the bathroom constantly. But it seems to work. I looked up the research, and people, doctors, when I say people, agree that having a pinch of coffee grinds within your lips will deliver caffeine to your blood pretty quickly. So that's one method of staying up during a graveyard shift. Number 2, frozen locks. So if you live in an area where it snows or you get ice, you know, I work out here in California, so I don't deal with this too much, but in areas where you have to check locks, and you know, your hands may be numb, or you may have gloves on and it's just difficult to maneuver the lock, they suggest you carry a lighter and have a piece of paper or a newspaper. Just light up the paper, put it under the lock. You know, most locks are made out of metal, and so you don't have to worry about them burning down, assuming this lock is not connected to a wood building, rather connected to a fence or something. You don't have to worry about any sort of fire, but it will thaw out the lock, and then you would be able to open it. Again, just another little stupid tip. I thought I would share it with you guys. You know, take it or leave it. Maybe one of these tips will help you out. Number 3, checking doors. They say that you should push, pull, and turn. So I have found this happens a lot. I will go to a door and I try to push it in and nothing happens, and then when I pull it, the door opens up. So you know, some doors they only open one way, and even though you may push on it and say, okay, well, this thing is locked, well, have you pulled on it? Because the door actually opens coming outward, not inward. So if you're pushing on a door, you know, whether it's locked or not, it's not going to move. And I see guards do this all the time. They just push inward, and I'm like, hey bro, have you tried pulling out? And then it opens up. So obviously make sure you turn the knob and try to open it. I mean, even my door at the house, if I don't turn the knob and I just jiggle it, of course it's not going to open. You have to turn the doorknob. So push it, pull it, and turn. I know that may sound like a stupid tip, but I see people make this mistake all the time, and I can see why this newspaper or news article picked up on tips for security guards, because people just overlook this all the time, and it is a tip. If anything, I will plant the seed in you, and you'll remember to push, pull, and turn. And the last tip, don't overlook unusual noises. So in that article, people were talking about different stories, like they were inside of a warehouse, you know, at 3 a.m. they thought they heard a noise. They dismissed it as the wind or a rat, and then ultimately it turned out to be a thief. So, you know, don't overlook your instincts. If you feel like something is wrong, then investigate it. You know, most criminals are not going to come through the front door when it comes to a warehouse. If I'm out here watching the front gate and they see me, they know that I'm preoccupied looking at the front gate. There's no way they're going to come through the front gate. So, you know, a lot of times we become complacent. We say, well, I'm watching the gate. Nobody's going to go into the warehouse. It's protected. But the truth is, they're going to come through the back way. They're going to go through the roof. They go through the walls. They go underground. I mean, they're basically like rats. So if you hear rat-like sounds, you can be assured that it could possibly be a criminal trying to get in. So again, you know, be hyper vigilant is what the tip number 4 was according to this article. If you hear noises or anything that sounds weird, don't dismiss it. And I gotta be honest, there has been quite a few incidences. And when I say quite a few, I'm thinking more like 98% of the time when I hear a sound out here, it's justified. Like I'll hear something and say, did I just hear something or is that just me? And then I somewhat dismiss it, right? And then I'm sitting here and then I see a cat and I'm like, yeah, there you go. I knew it. I knew there was something that I heard. And it wasn't just me. Of course, there's been times where I've heard a sound and I'm like, well, maybe it was something in my car and it shifted and whatnot. But, you know, always trust your instinct. The last thing you want is to hear some sound, dismiss it, and then have somebody come behind you and put your life in jeopardy. So, again, guys, those are just 4 tips that I was reading on this news article. I don't know if it's worthy of YouTube, but the one about, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here. The one about putting coffee grinds between your gums, that one was new to me. So, you know, I learned something, and hopefully out of these 4 tips, you'll pick up on something else. Other than that, you guys, I'm going to keep trying to put out videos, not just for the sake of putting out videos, but to educate you guys. I myself am a noob, so I'm out there trying to research things to learn myself. If you have any tips, by all means, leave them at the bottom. Other than that, be safe out there, whether you're patrolling or just out on the street. Good luck. Take care.